Welcome to the Scotland Fantasy Football League, the fantasy football league in which 8, maybe 9 of the team managers know absolutely nothing about football. We have people from the UK, we have people from Detroit, and they're all here for the same reason, to entertain you and become the next Scotland Fantasy Football champion. Alright guys, I hope you're in the fantasy football because this is going to be a complete LP of this year's NFL season. We have every team manager in this league is a player from Scotland. You'll see here the Detroit Rape Squad, that's obviously Ninja. Zach Scott team, I forget who runs that team. The Handy Fannies, that would be Brett. The Baby Eaters is Tasman. Wolves is Wolf Sorrow. The Fruit Flies would be Jeffro Bro. Ollie's Anal Beads is, Ollie. Creativity points there, I guess, for the name. Then we have Hippid, the Crazy Caters, which is Crazy Kick-Ass Kate, and then me, Spintown. Before we get into the details of how this league is run, like the settings and how you score points and all that, I think we'll go straight to the draft results. I set up the draft ready the other night, and it drafted that very night. I don't know how Zach Scott got the first pick, overall pick in this league, but he did. I did not set it up that way. It was just random, as far as I can tell. We did an auto draft, which means the computer drafted our teams for us based on a list of rankings, player rankings, that each manager had. Yahoo gives us a default list, but you're allowed to edit it any way you want. I'm pretty sure everybody left it the way Yahoo gave it to them, except for a few people. I know Ollie edited his list, and I, of course, edited mine a little bit. I don't like to spend a whole lot of time when I'm doing auto draft leagues setting up my draft list. I much prefer to do the live drafts with a whole bunch of friends, eating pizza, watching football over at their house. I'm actually going to do that in a couple nights with some friends of mine. I've been playing in a fantasy league with them for about 5 years now. I've won 2.5 of those years, by the way. Long story about the half win. But, yeah, Zach Scott got the first pick, and he got Arian Foster there. Ray Rice went second to Wolf Sorrow. Some pretty typical picks you would see here until you get to Ollie's Anal Beads, and he picked Michael Humananoe. I don't know how to say that name. But Ollie had a very interesting strategy going into this draft. He decided to look through all the players and pick out people who he thought had interesting names, like TJ Hushmanzada here, who was a former Bengal wide receiver. Yeah, I don't really think that's going to work out well for Ollie. I think he's going to be lucky to get one win in this league. But if he does manage to get a win, it's going to be pretty epic. Because, quite honestly, I think it's going to be impossible at this point. But that's round 1, 2, and 3. Here's the results for round 4, 5, and 6. Here's 7, 8, and 9. And I know I'm going quick, but you guys can pause this if you really want to see the draft results. Here's 10, 11, and 12. 13, 14, and 15, and the last round, 16. Now I think we'll go through and look at everybody's individual teams. We'll start off with mine. I'll be honest, I've already hit the free agent pool, and so has Ninja. Ninja was the first one to notice the draft was done and that you can hit the free agent pool, and he picked up people before I even knew that we drafted. But I picked up a couple as well. I think I was the second one to do it. In this league, we do have return yards count as points. So I picked up Joshua Cribbs and Leon Washington. Hopefully that works out for me. I thought that was some pretty solid point value right there. But looking over my team, I'm pretty satisfied with the wide receivers. I'm going to get a lot of receptions. This is a point per reception league. So Wes Welker is going to be big for me. I'm solid with my receivers. My running backs, again, they're solid, but I don't think I have that knockout guy who's just going to dominate every week for me. And that's what I really go for when my draft is. I go running back, running back, running back, running back in a live draft when I do it. I want to be 3 deep at least in running back, and I'm not talking 2 starters and a backup. I want 3 legit starters, and I got 3 starters here. It's just I'm not sure I'm getting that number one guy that I would have wanted. Let's go on to Zach Scott's team here. Yeah, I don't think Zach's got a bad team. I don't know how active Zach is going to be with updating his team. I told him it would take him about 2 minutes a week. Yeah, and that's true. If he just wants to go update his team, just make sure he has people starting that should be starting. It really does. It takes less than 2 minutes. If he wants to make a couple free agent pickups, again, it might take him 5 minutes. But yeah, we'll see how Zach does. I'm just going to go ahead and run through these really quickly. This is Ninja's squad. Here is Hippids. And again, you can pause this when you get to a team you want to check out a little longer. This is Ollie's team. Here we have, whose team is this? Oh, the Baby Eaters. That's Tasman. Then we have the Fruit Flies. We have the Hanny Fannies, which is Brett. This is Crazy Kick-Ass Kate's team. And we have Wolves. We have the settings now. This is where I'm going to talk about the settings of our league. I already mentioned it was an auto draft and told you what that was. That's when the draft happened. The max for the amount of teams we were going to allow was 10. And then I thought we was going to get a couple more to join, so I set up to 12, but we ended up just having 10. It's head-to-head is a scoring type, which means every single week I'm going to be going up against somebody from Scotland. And my team has to score more points than theirs. And it doesn't matter if I outscore everybody else in the league. If that one team that I'm up against outscores me, I lose. So that's how the head-to-head scoring goes. Let's see. No maximum for any of this stuff here. Waivers, 2 days. I pretty much review all trades. If I think somebody's getting taken advantage of, I can veto the trade. And I'm just going to pretty much allow anything that doesn't look too dastardly. Because you can actually cheat in fantasy football. You can team up with a buddy and say, hey, how about I make this really bad trade and we just try to get you to win. And, I'll give you all my best players. You keep all your best players. We'll stack your team. That's kind of why you have the commissioner in charge of vetoing trades and reviewing them, or you set it up where the entire league can review trades. But since this league doesn't really follow football too much, I figured it would probably be best if I took charge of that. Let's see. Anything else here important? Playoffs take place during week 15 and 16. The reason we don't go up to week 17 for the playoffs is because in the last week of the season, a lot of the teams sit their starters. So in the championship game, it will kind of suck for the 2 teams not to have very good players playing. So yeah, that's why the last week in the season is week 16 for us. Playoff reseeding, no. Here's the players, the positions that we have for each week. You're allowed to start 1 quarterback, 2 wide receivers, 2 running backs, a tight end. Then you get 2 slots where you can put a receiver or running back. We get a kicker, we get a defense, and then I made this change because Yahoo does not give you by default injured reserve spots. But I hate getting a player that I really wanted in the draft and he gets put on the injured reserve. And, maybe I want to keep him till next year. Maybe he's going to be back late in the season or something. But, I don't want to have to drop him into the free agent pool. So I gave everybody 2 slots for the injured reserve on their team. So if you get a player injured, you can throw him on there, not lose him. But then we have 6 bench spots as well. Fractional points has been something that I'm really for. Helps prevent ties. Negative points, yes, for things like fumbles and interceptions. No, I did not make the league publicly viewable. I'm going to be doing that here on YouTube. Here's how we score points. It's pretty simple. If your quarterback passes for 25 yards, he gets 1 point. Every 25 yards he gets, that's another point. If he gets a total of 300 yards, he gets 5 bonus points. Every touchdown he throws, you get 6 points. If he throws an interception, that's a -1 point. Your running back, or anybody really that's starting on your team, if he rushes for 10 yards, he gets 1 point. He does that, you get 1 point for every 10 yards. And if you get 100 yards total with one player rushing, you get a bonus 5 points. 6 points for every rushing touchdown. This is a points per reception league, so every time somebody makes a reception in your starting lineup, you get 1 point. Every time you get 10 yards receiving with somebody, you get 1 point. And you get 5 bonus points if somebody gets 100 total yards receiving. 6 points for a receiving touchdown. Return yards, again, it's just 1 point per 10 yards, and then you get 5 points if they get 200 total yards returning. And 6 points for a return touchdown. 2 points for a 2-point conversion, -1 point for a fumble, -2 points for a fumble lost. Offensive fumble return for a touchdown, you get 6 points. Okay, your kicker, I just left basically as Yahoo has had it set up for default. No changes made here, but there's the scoring for the kicker. Defensively, I don't think I made any changes for the defense. Let me think. I think that's pretty much the way Yahoo has set up. I don't think I made changes there. Then here, that's basically all the scoring stuff. So now we're going to move on to team slogans. Not everybody has set this up. I think just me, Kate, and Ninja so far, but you're allowed to have your own team slogan. You can read mine. There's Ninja's and there's Kate's. But then one of the best things about fantasy football is trash talk, okay? So I really hope people really get into the trash talking even more than the gameplay, okay? Because I love the trash talk. And so far, again, only 3 people have participated in any of the smack talk. I played Ollie in week 1, and I told you about his interesting draft strategy. So I just wrote, I feel really lucky to get a bye week during week 1. And then Ninja Marion posted smack talk for his matchup versus Brett. You're going to get raped worse than a white woman in Detroit. That sounds really bad. So, yeah, hopefully Brett responds. Ollie, I don't expect him to respond. I expect him to just lay down and die because he is not going to give me any competition. I don't think he has any room to talk, but we'll see. Kate posted some smack talk to Zach. Your team is so crap that they make the elephant dung at the zoo look like a pile of flowers. Zach's pretty stinky, apparently. But anyways, that's it for the smack talk. Hopefully we get more of that after week 1. But here is the week 1 matchups. You can pick who you think is going to win each matchup in the comments below. And post what you think the scores will be. You know how the scoring system works. And if you follow the NFL, you can make an educated guess. We'll see if anybody can get lucky and get one right. But anyways, thanks for watching. I appreciate your time. We'll be back next week. Goodbye.